Johnson. Is Will Smith and Boom Shake 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 the Room? Boom Shake Shake. It is DJ Jazz. It is the Fresh Prince. I didn't even know it was his song. So that's why it sounds like him. It is him. All right. Learn something new every day. Yeah, it's him. It's actually him. I was like, man, it really sounds like Will Smith. All right, here we are on the weeklies. What's our trend here on the weeklies? I mean, clear uptrend, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Do we have order flow here on the weeklies? I mean, yeah, that's the man. Impulse, bounce, impulse, right? That's an Arab institutional buy. It's just not giving us good risk-reward ratio. That's supply. Impulse, balance, impulse. Nice continuation right there. Multiple time frame correlation there. Zones on top of zones on the supply side. Get down to the dailies. It's not bad, but it's already been hit. Impulse, balance, impulse, area of institutional buying, driving price action up, leaving behind on velours, price retraces, comes back in, hits that area multiple time from correlation, pops back up. So it wasn't bad, but it's already been hit, and it itself was a retest of that continuation. So if you're gonna get back down here, maybe make sure there's an oppositional structure. There it is, oppositional structure. So
it seems like every time they try to hide something from us.
It's definitely valid. That's a valid standalone daily here at 287.48. I mean, I wouldn't mess with that. It's already been hit. You see how we impulsed out and came back in and hit it right there? So I wouldn't mess with that one. That would be your most actionable trade or potential zone entry down here as well. Cool. For those of you new to us, if you want to learn more about trading at a professional level, workshop tomorrow night. We're teaching a free workshop. You can register right on our website, tradephantoms.com. Just click this purple register here button. Be in awe of the beautiful logo. And in that workshop, we'll teach you more about how the markets really work, how we identify order flow, where the banks buy, where the banks sell, so we can buy and sell with them, how to trade in all directions, how to use leverage properly, the difference between all the different asset classes, and trading for income versus wealth management. So we'll teach you a lot more about how professionals trade. It's free, and you'll learn more about it, man. All right. Done with Lulu. What's next, guys? All right, Alexa, skip. Alexa, skip. I'm not in Google. Let's go do it.
We go here, right here. This is the main one. This is another main one. Is it incorrect that we are in a living vessel?
I don't know.
I think is it incorrect that we are in a living
No good supply still. Let's go to charts, start from scratch. Get down to the weeklies. Alright, weeklies we have nice order flow. Beautiful. Impulse, balance, impulse, area of institutional selling. Some banks sold heavily here, driving price action downwards explosively, leaving behind unfilled orders. Prices already come back in, hit that big pile of unfilled orders for the first time. And because there's an imbalance of more sellers and buyers, hits that big pile of sellers, more sellers and buyers, price goes back down. And that's where we like to get in, right, guys? Identify where the banks buy, identify where the banks sell, wait for price to come back, buy and sell with the banks. That's a continuation. and it's been hit twice. So same concept here. Somebody make bought heavily here, driving price action up, leaving behind unfilled orders. Price came back in, hit those unfilled orders, popped right back up. First hit. And that's normally where we're going, guys. First hits back to areas of institutional buying and selling, so we can buy with the banks, sell with the banks. Down to the dailies here. First thing on my dailies, I want to evaluate my trend. What's my trend on Google, guys? Up, down, or sideways? Here on the daily time frame. It's an uptrend, a downtrend, or a sideways moving trend. Yep, we've broken past control, but we haven't established a new trend. So we broke past the controlling lower high here. So all we have is an impulse and correction. Exactly right. Do we have order flow here on the dailies? Yeah, we do. This is a retest of this. This is a retest of this. This is a retest of that. So we have it, but it's pretty beat up. All right, look at that supply. Major inbounds driving price action down, leaving behind unfilled orders. Price came back in, hit those unfilled orders, pushed out, came back in, pushed out, came back in, pushed out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Multiple hits. On the buy side of things, we have this interesting continuation here. Impulse, balance, impulse. That's already hit too. Impulse out, came back in, hit the unfilled orders, popped up. Potential zone entry if you can get back down here to 158.86 or 159.86. On the supply side, I'm not messing with it, man. It's too beat up. That thing's like primed to break, you know. So I wouldn't do that. Let's see if the fours give us anything more refined. I mean, there's valid structures in there. It's just they're standalone fours. So it's like, how much faith do you want to put in a standalone four, you know? I mean, that's demand. That's demand. It's just we know how easily these zones are this size, especially with the wick through like that. We know how easily these zones are broken. What about this one? Is that one tested already in the gap? I mean, basically, right? Like, what's that low there? It's 163.41. 163.40. It's 1 penny difference. I mean, that's a hit. So it's like, am I going to put a lot of faith in this zone that's been wicked through and this zone that's already been hit? Nah. Standalone fours that are already like beat up a little bit? Absolutely not. Yeah, that's it, man. It's not going to refine our structure anymore. Potential zone entry at 159.86. Cool. Great job. You've gone live for 90 minutes. Thank you, TikTok. House of Pain. Microsoft, let's go check it out. I think I have it right here. There you go, Microsoft. Remember when he came out afterwards, like as a solo career, and had his like kind of more bluesy rock, and he called himself Everlast? All right, beautiful institutional buying, no good structure for selling. Let's throw that to the weeklies. That's not bad. That helps me, Miss Saucy. Does it help you, the melatonin? It does work for me. It's funny because when I was younger, it really did not work for me. And then I've aged into it working effectively for me. Shit, beef with Eminem. That's so funny. What was he? I'm the best white rapper. Why do you have beef with Eminem? That's so weird. Well, how about this whole thing happening with Diddy and that whole thing, dude? That thing's crazy, man. Alright. I mean, we just don't have good demand. That's the reality of it. So let's just draw the most recent level. It is what it is. Did this creep up above? Oh, that's the high of it. I don't like it, but it is what it is. All right, let's drill down to the dailies. What's our trend on the dailies, guys? Up, down, or sideways? I think the Diddy thing is covered for. All right. I have no idea what that means, Saucy. But maybe I'm just not on top of that stuff now. Yeah. Hold on. Because if you look at this, that's the impulse. That's the controlling high or low. And then another impulse. And is this below? Ooh, that's right on the line. What's that open? 4:15:17. What's the open? 4:15:23. I mean, slightly technically, yes. Consolidation. Barely. All right. So, yeah, I agree. You should count it as consolidation. Impulse, balance, impulse, continuation right here. Arab institutional buying. Did they really just start playing Diddy as soon as I talked about him? That's crazy, man. What are the odds, huh? J&J must be up with the babies. Oh, user. I've had to deal with that before. Because I worked in the music industry a lot. And so, like, first of all, I think they're wonderful musicians in the world, and I really appreciate the music that they provide. But I don't have that thing in me where I get excited about just meeting someone that I like their music, you know? And so one time I was backstage for one of our endorsers, and, we were just like, hey, great concert, blah, 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 great job, guys, whatever, you know? And then he introduces me to this other guy. And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. And I forget what the guy's name was. Rodolfo, that was his name. He's like, hey, this is Rodolfo. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, man. And the guy's reaction to me saying, like, nice to meet you, and, like, just shaking his hand was so, like, absolutely, like, gobsmacked that I was like, oh, God, he's probably famous. Like, that reaction isn't the reaction any normal person would have to the interaction we just had. So I'm like, so this guy's going to be famous, and now he's going to be offended that I don't know who he is. And that was exactly what happened. And then I asked my friend from the other band, I'm like, is this guy famous for them? He's like, yeah, dude, he's like the lead singer of blah, 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 this band. I'm like, oh. And so I went back, I was like, oh man, you work in the band, I love that band. And then the guy was like, oh, excellent. Things are right as they should be. Everyone understands who I am. I didn't even know who he was, Futures. I definitely wasn't like, whoa, it's blah, blah, blah. Who knows, man? I don't know. It's not how I trade, brother. I don't try and guess what the market's going to do. I just see if we're in areas of order flow. This is a little area of imbalance right here. It's just not good. It's not particularly strong, you know? So, and it's really a retest of this, which is also not good in terms of strength movement. So it's not a level I'd be willing to trade off of. But if you were like, you have to make a decision of what direction it's going to move tomorrow, even though you would never put any money on it, just to be very clear, so I would never put any money on this, I would be more inclined towards a bullish move from where it is. But that is pure guesswork. I would never make a trading decision off that absolutely complete guess of a direction. What about SPY? I mean, we already looked at ES, man. So, I mean, not going to be any different than that, really. Unless you want to look for, like, a swing trade or something. Are you looking more swing? But there's no structure on the monthlies and weeklies. So there's only day trades potentially on it. I don't remember the conclusion. What was the conclusion of ES, guys? No problem, man. So maybe if you get back down here to this demand, this could be an opportunity. Or up to the supply. Let's get down to the fours here, just see if the fours give us anything nicer. Because this is kind of a mess where it is right now. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. Over here, it doesn't change the zone. It does give us correlating structure though. So if you get back down here to this level, that's a potential long at the 4724, or even better if you can get to the overlap of the two zones. Multiple time frame correlation at 4666. On these levels, I'm not trading any of those levels. Those are standalone fours. They've already been hit, and I don't have good structure on supply. So that's about it, man. That's the only one I'd be looking at. Cool. Take it easy, Bob. Thank you, man. Have a good night, man. Tell us about pins. Is that a stock? I don't know, pins. Oh, it's Pinterest. Okay. I don't think I've ever done it. Oh, I was about to say, I don't think I've ever analyzed Pinterest, but apparently I have at some point. That was 100% for you guys, though. You guys asked me to do that. Alright. So, let's clear the chart, start from scratch. Here are on the monthlies for Pinterest. Always the higher time frames first, because higher time frames tend to control lower time frames. I do have this beautiful pivot reversal right here. Impulse, bounce, impulse, pivot reversal, area of institutional selling. Some banks sold heavily here, driving price action down. Here we have buying, impulse, bounce, impulse. Some big institution bought heavily here, driving price action upwards explosively. So institutional buying, institutional selling. In both cases, they weren't able to fill all their buy orders, so they created an imbalance in order flow, driving price action away, leaving behind unfilled orders here, and leaving behind a high probability of unfilled orders here. Institutional buy, institutional selling. We've already reacted to the demand zone, come back in, hit those unfilled buy orders, pop back out. This is somewhat of something happening over here, so we're going to see what that looks like in a lower time frame. Let's get down to the weeklies. That broke past. But it didn't break past control. That's all correction, because that's control. Impulse, correction, impulse. That's all correction. So we haven't broken past control yet. So this is still technically a downtrend. Do we have any order flow here on the weeklies for Pinterest? Yep, we have this little guy right there. Little pivot reversal. Good strength of movement. That's interesting. On the sell side, continuation right there. Weekly monthly correlation on the continuation. So we have weekly monthly correlation on the demand, weekly monthly correlation on the supply side. Zones on top of zones. Love those zones on top of zones. Here we are on the dailies. Institutional buying. Big strength though. Alright, I mean ideally we want to get down to the overlap, right? A little continuation right there, another one right there, another one right there. There's plenty of order flow. This one's already been retested, came out, came back in, and kind of it's a retest of that. So, best potential, that guy. Let's just drill down fours, make sure there's oppositional structure there. There she is. There she blows. Alright, so if you can get back down to this daily, weekly, monthly correlation, especially where all three zones overlap each other here at 28.99, that's an interesting potential opportunity to go long. There's plenty of other structure beyond that, but I'm looking at what's the most interesting actionable trade. On the sell side, meh. Weak strength. Oh, that's too bad. That's not good structure for us. Because basing, drop, right? Impulse, bounce, impulse, come back in, hit the unfilled orders, popped out, came back in, popped out, came back in, popped out, came in. Way too beat up. Can't trade that supply. That's it. That's the one, man. Potential long at 29.36. Cool. Or ideally, what was it? Where they all overlap was 28.99, I think. Probably 29, let's be honest. You have a major level institutional buying that they did at 28.99. They probably just did at 29. Celsius graph. What is their ticker? Oh, CLH, that's right. Nice, Saucy. That's awesome. More Big Willie. On your mark, ready, set, let's go. Gotta get jiggy with it. All right. Monthlies, nice amounts there. Already hit once, popped out, twice popped out. It's a little bit beat up. On the sell side, technically that is a base, right? It's just gigantic. Clear inbound. All right. Monthlies done. Down to the weeklies. Looking for trend and correlation on the weeklies. What's our trend, guys? And I just want to point out where that closed. Oh, it's still active technically, right? I am saucy. Like literally, I'm just shimming along in my chair as I'm waiting for you guys to say the trend. That's pretty funny. That's a pretty good mix, man. I'm enjoying it. So what G said makes sense, which is this. This is the control. That's the controlling lower high, right? Technically, we're above that candle, right? Price is currently above that candle. But this candle is still active. So that's where it's like, it's down, but at this exact moment, we're leaning sideways because we're above. This candle could still retrace back down before the end of the week, at which point it would still be a downtrend. But if I was scoring it out, I would treat this as consolidation right now because we're just slightly above that control point. Does that make sense? So that's where that came from. All right. Do we have any order flow here on the weeklies? Yeah. A lot of trading on Celsius, right? That's all supply. I mean, that's a big supply zone, but it's supply. And we're deeply penetrating into it right now, right? Broad. I don't think I got that bottom of the body. There it is. Not looking good, is it? Not looking like we're going to have anything actionable here. Demand. Good strength of movement. Is that a gap? That sucks. Too bad there's that little gap there, huh? That already hit. All right. We got weeklies. Let's get down to... Oh, and it hit again. Do you see that? So even though this already happened, isn't it still fun to be that precise? Where you can take a little sliver of a chart and say, that's where price turns. Isn't that cool? That's a level? I imagine if I drew it, it's probably because it's a level. My wife does a great MC Hammer impression, dude. You know the little like shimmying thing he does side to side? That is a skill set she has. Some very specific skills. Well, she knows how to samba. She's Brazilian, so she knows how to like actually samba, which I am not capable of doing. They can be very strong, Garrett. Yeah. I mean, this is all a mess, but whatever. You have structure here either way. We have a nice zone right there on the demand side. Good strength and movement. I like this level. Even though it's a retest, I do like the level overall. I'd be interested if it comes back down. There's that 2874. And it's tight enough structure, great strength and movement, broke past the oppositional again, multiple time for collision with a breakaway. I know technically we spent a lot of time in this weekly, but I still think this is interesting. I like this level. I would be interested in a potential trade opportunity there at the, what is it again? 2874. Cool. Somebody tells me your ethnicity is white. Yes. That is not, first of all, I have great rhythm. It's just my feet don't agree with it, Saucy. Alright, what's next, guys? What's the next one? We're done with Celsius. I like that, man. That's an interesting level. Supply sucks. Did you know MC Hammer became a reverend? Apple? Clear the charts, start from scratch, nothing on the monthlies, down to the weeklies. I mean, technically, yes, we're in supply, right? Technically, that's supply, and technically, we're still in it. We've deeply whipped through it, but we still haven't broken it. It's just not pretty, is it? Coinbase, we can check out Coinbase. Call wall on SPY Friday expiration, just wondering. Oh, interesting. What do you guys... Oh, you had session today. Message Blue, man. That's the type of stuff he likes to know, Garrett. Shoot him in the chat. He'll definitely look at it. Alright. Is that hit? Yeah, it's hit already. Stupid weekly zone. Getting hit already. Whatever. There we go. Smaller. Done. Alright. Let's go down to dailies. What's our trend here on the dailies, guys, for Apple? Up, down, or sideways? Yeah, that's right. I think he said he was coming up to Mass. Or going up to Mass. I'm not there anymore. But he'll still pay attention, man. That's what I'm saying. Send it in the chat. Dude, Blue cannot... Like, if you ask me if I think Blue could possibly stay away from the charts for the rest of the week, I would say there's about a 0% chance of that happening. There's no way he's not going to be looking at the charts. Even during his trip. Perhaps while driving, for all I know. Definitely, that's what they're both base. Oh, really? I mean, normally I would check this, but we already know. It's been hit, popped out, hit, popped out, hit, popped out, hit, popped out. So it's definitely valid. There's demand, but we're not going to trade those. Let's get down to the fours, see if there's anything actionable for us here. Yeah, this was the problem we were having with Apple. There's structure, but it's lower time frame structure inside of higher time frame supply. This guy down here, he's a possibility, but he's a retest of this over here. So same issue, you know. If it does come back down here, maybe a zone, maybe a confirmation trade down here at the 216.79, but that's about it. It's actually a little bit off from me, because if I include that base, it's going to be a little higher than that. 216, what did it say? 85? 216.85. This one didn't quite hit it, did it? It's just below it. Look at that. Almost. I would consider that a hit. Doesn't matter. It's already done. That's all I got for you on Apple. Yeah, dude. There's no way he's gonna stay away from the charts while he's traveling. You guys gotta remember that person that you see inside the lives that's obsessed with trading